declare the meeting open at 6 p.m. This ordinary council meeting will be video recorded and recordings published on the Shire of Dundas website. The Shire of Dundas recognises the Nudgee and Burning as traditional custodians of the Shire of Dundas and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We have two councillors attending via electronic means. We have Councillor McLeod and Councillor Fleming. Item 2, declarations of interest, financial interests. Councillor Almond. 10.1.1. Thank you. Any proximity interests? Cool. Conflict of interest. Partiality. And nothing online, councillors, no. Thank you. We are all present. We have no apologies. Do we have any applications for the meeting? Okay, we had this evening 2 citizenship ceremonies, so I'm going to bring that one forward and we will do the Okay. Australian citizenship represents commitment to Australia and its people, the values we share, and our common future. Since the first Australian citizenship ceremony was hosted in 1949, more than 6 million people have chosen to become Australian citizens. Becoming an Australian citizen is a major decision involving commitment, responsibility, and public recognition. We congratulate Pearl and Gillian on their decision to become an Australian citizen and recognise their contribution to the Norseman community. Existing Australian citizens are encouraged to publicly affirm their loyalty and commitment to Australia by participating in an Australian citizenship affirmation ceremony. The affirmation is based on the pledge of commitment made by new citizens and gives those who are already Australians the same opportunity to declare their pride and commitment to our nation. We have a message here from the Minister. The current Minister is the Honourable Tony Burke, who is also the Minister for Home Affairs, Minister for Immigration and Citizenship, Minister for Cybersecurity, Minister for the Arts, and the Blue Cats. So his message is: in a few moments' time, Australia becomes an even-better nation. When you make the citizenship pledge, you take on the privileges and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. From that moment, your journey and heritage will become part of our shared Australian story. We are privileged to share this beautiful country with First Nations Australians, the custodians of the world's oldest continuing culture. Appreciating and understanding this truth is a vital part of what it means to be Australian. Australia welcomes you as a full member of one of the most diverse nations on earth, where our citizenship is a bond which unites us all. Australia welcomes you and everything you bring to Australia. Today, your new nation says to you, welcome home. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia. The Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations. A, by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. So now we'll put you to the pledge. So if you repeat after me, from this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, and pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey, and whose laws I uphold and obey. So congratulations, it's brilliant to you. And everybody is invited to read the affirmation. So we can even say that together. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people. I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people. Whose democratic beliefs I share. Whose democratic beliefs I share. Whose rights and liberties I respect. Whose rights and liberties I respect. And whose laws I uphold. Okay. Everybody, if you're able to stand for the national anthem. Oh.
Can we stand up?
All truth so much joy, holy with golden soil and oil, joy. Just is all beauty. In his spiritual stage, joyful spirit, let us sing. We are one, we are many, and no more we are. We never dream and sing one voice. I am you are, we are Australia. We are one. And we are ready, and from all the lands we come, we shall sing, and sing with one voice. I am you are Australian.
Where's your flag? Don't make me cry. I can have it. Move a little bit then. One more story, sorry. Someone. Thank you. I can just the living or you can. Oh, yeah.
No secrets tomorrow.
Have a great night.
Come along, not a letter, drink. Good Lord, what are you doing? I'm not a letter, drink either.
See you, dude.
So we shall really, we have no response to the previous. That's what we're doing first of all, I'll get the Bruno Valley. Item 7, confirmation of the minutes of previous meeting. Anybody have any adjustments today? Everybody happy? So we have a recommendation that the minutes of the ordinary meeting council held on 21st of March 2006 be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Those in favour? Council Bullock.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing the distortion.
Item 7.2, minutes of the special council meeting held on the 31st of March 2026. Any corrections or adjustments made to those? So we have a recommendation that the minutes of the Sixth Meeting Council held on the 31st of March 2026 be confirmed as true and accurate. Thank you. Item 8, we have our citizenship survey. Item 8.2, reports. Okay, 8.1, well, it's 8.2.1, is the GBROC. So GBROC meeting was held on Friday, the 27th of March, hosted by the Shire of Esperance. State member Ali King gave an update on matters of interest to the Gold Investment Zone. Dominating discussions is the fuel situation. Planning and reporting in this space is ongoing. A new light tanker has been delivered to the Northern Volunteer Fire Rescue Service, and the state government is working on budget preparation with a budget briefing scheduled to take place on the 8th of May. Shelby Robinson from DEFIS gave us a presentation on her role and current focus of emergency management. The emergency management space is undergoing a review, which is expected to be a 2-year process. If we look at the Act, although the Act itself will not be reviewed, policy has management plans, procedures and environment. DEFIS is developing a local government emergency management knowledge hub for their website. We remind that coordination and management of recovery after an emergency event is the responsibility of the government. However, there is a scale from R1 to R2, which depending on the impact of the emergency will include a greater or less degree of We also had a presentation from the Telstra. Telstra has implemented satellite fixed capability in clients outside coverage area. So can be not for triple O calls. There is a slight delay because of down that, but handy we have to discuss something. Shire of Esperance update already on several projects in Shire, including the Sandback project along foreshore, the proposed airport upgrade and associated funding difficulties, which we're familiar with. Their key worker accommodation project and the James Street precinct, which will incorporate a new library, visitor centre and functional centre. The GDC advised that board positions still to be determined. They are also closely concerned with security. They are also working an outback way beyond the road issues. So they're assisting with traditional negotiations, fire security considerations, impacts of increased travellers and the preparedness for the local government areas. RDA is sending info read fuel supply issues through the Kirsty McBain. Including impacts of increased cost of transport industry and reduced sponsorship for community events traditionally sponsored by fuel companies. Governance training is ongoing for not-for-profit organisations and also running grant funding workshops. GBROC tree planting project is progressing and our tree orders will be updated. Contract for Josh Byrne Associates has been extended for the larger project. More funding has been made available for non-profit community water supply partnerships, which was the funding stream that we were successfully There's some discussion around water security with our recently completed regional drought resilience and becoming very useful to future planning. The implementation of the plan will see mapping of future water needs across the region and forecasting the future needs of each local government. It will also look at water demand and what opportunities there are in reusing wastewater. The regularity of miscellaneous licences is still a hot topic. The Parliament has suspended debate, which has given us some further opportunity to engage with state parliamentarians on the subject and to get the information out into the further public domain. Fuel security was discussed further in terms of rising transport costs apart from availability issues. A letter from the Depot Chair was subsequently sent to Minister Sanson in relation to ongoing fuel availability. A particular focus of this discussion was in relation to situations in our region which are broader than just fuel availability, but consideration of the Euclid town site, which is totally reliant on diesel for their power, and Menzies, which is also totally reliant on fuel because they have no town water, so all their trucking. We discussed the issue of inappropriate use of parking bays by trucking and haulage company. It was determined that we write to Ali Kent to raise our concerns in Parliament, engage with Wagga to seek advice, have the CEO's group investigate the implications of this misuse of both financial and waste control line, and also engage with various entities, Steeler and Main Roads. Another item which is returned after some fierce lobbying a few years back, which our former fire captain and Shire Councillor Veronica White is heavily involved, is the need for an emergency rescue helicopter to be based in the Gulf North Essex region. It is proposed that we work in conjunction with the Remote Hazards Working Group and the District Emergency Management Committee to advocate further for this service to be based in our region. Our next DPOC meeting will be held by Zoom on the 25th of April to consider items for decision for the State Council meeting scheduled for the 6th or 7th of May. 822, the next August State Council meeting is scheduled for Wednesday the 6th and Thursday the 7th of May. Will be hosted by the Shire of Finchley. Wagga has been facilitating weekly meetings with Rob Forsyth, who's the State Fuel Coordinator, to keep everybody informed of fuel availability and planning. Attendees to those meetings will be members of the State Council, including me, broadly covering each of the regions of the state. We're also briefing Rob on the situation in our regions on the ground to make sure that what we know and we see happening is what he thinks is what's happening from what he knows. So hopefully that's all working. It seems to be going along at the moment, and I think that's said before, we have some priority because of the freight paths across that area highway. So hopefully that will continue. 823 Regional Road Group. We had a regional road group meeting in Kalgoorlie on the 26th of March. No further progress yet on the NCA framework that needs to be updated, but there is a new chair for TWT, so hopefully we can move on something in that space. Roadworks in all shires progressing, however, some have been delayed by weather events. Mark on here you go, its presentation on how the state road funding agreement works and the priorities for the current agreement, and works have begun on formulating this agreement will be put together. I don't believe it's been the road was meeting. That next one will be next quarter, I imagine. 825 LEMAC, we had a LEMAC meeting in Newcastle on the 21st of March. Councillor Brown. LEMAC meeting was held in Newcastle on the 21st of March. 3 motions were tabled. One, the identification of disrupting preparedness in relation to public water supply in the nuclear plant site. It is of note that water disruption is not a prescribed hazard in WA. That is, there is no one hazard management agency, but it would depend on the origin of the hazard. For example, weather, defects, plant and fire energy service. Contamination would be the health department or what originally from the WA Police Force. The supply issue would fall under WA Police Force and the LG Act. By participating in this tabletop exercise, it means that the Shire of Dundas has exceeded the requirement for yearly multi-agency exercises. The second motion was the Euclid airstrip upgrade, which is in one. Euclid airstrip is used by WA Health, WA Police, RPS, Joint Ambulance, Australian Border Force, and DFID, and Regional Development and General Aviation. There have been multiple plans submitted and currently a form of clarification from the Department of Transport and Major Infrastructure has been requested by the Shire.
The third motion is in regards to G Block Goldfields, Volunteer Regional Organisation Council. The representative have approached District Emergency Management Committee in regards to the emergency rescue helicopter service. ERHS is to be based in either Cal or Esmond. In incident statistics, including road crash, search and rescue, and intra-hospital transfers, mining and exploration incidents and bushfire hazards will be considered together with fixed and rotary wing aircraft access with the aim to reduce ground transport over long distances. The ability of rotary wing aircraft to land close to incident locations increases the response time and can reduce visibility and trauma. That's it.
Thank you. 8 Coastal Management Plan and Strategy Committee. We held a meeting of this committee on the 16th of April. We had a short presentation on the general condition of the shacks on our coast after the inspection back in January. Following consultation with the shack owners, a more comprehensive discussion will take place on the next steps. We also welcome new committee members from the WA Learning People Aboriginal Corporation, that's UNPAC, and from the Department of Land and Heritage. Further talks will be held to inform the new members of progress to this point and aspirations of shack owners and the Land Club Group. Next meeting of that committee is scheduled for the 11th June. We haven't had a meeting of the Economic Development Committee. Nothing for me, just the fuel stuff is ongoing. I don't think it will be. There has been thing that the unions have pushed for the transfer. Collaboration chain, something like that. Basically what they're aiming for is that transport companies and people using the fuel who aren't the end users products are going to suck up all of the costs involved in the increased cost of fuel. And I don't really know how they think that's going to work, but that's what they've got in place. So watch this space. I don't think that's going to make it all well. Anyway, item 10.1, 10.1.1, the proposed amalgamation of lots 109, 110, 111, 112 on the positive plan 222909 in Northland. Okay, so we have a recommendation on Facebook. And the recommendation. Thank you.
Happy to second.
Got one, thank you, Councillor Fleming. Would you like to speak to that one, Councillor Burns? Anybody like to speak against that recommendation?
No.
Anybody like to speak for it? Okay, we have a recommendation that council pursuant to clause 1422 of the Planning and Development Act 2005 inform the Western Australian Planning Commission that it has no objection to the proposed amalgamation of lots 109, 110, 111 and 112 on deposit of plan 222909, HM 70 to 76 Goodliff Street, Northland, into a single allotment as per the plan of amalgamation prepared by Element Geospatial, job reference 72, dated 25th of 2nd, 2026. Those in favour? Thank you. Okay, item 10.1.2, the minutes of the Dundas Coastal Planning Committee. Recommendation is on page 14. Thank you. That's good for that. We have a recommend. Does anybody have any questions or anything on that one? We have a recommendation that council accept the minutes of the Shire of Dundas Coastal Planning Committee meeting held on the 11th of November 2025 as contained in the paper still And those in favour? Item 10.2.1, financial statements for the period ending 28th of February 2026. That's the home. Speak to that, councillor Hall. Anybody got any questions? Have a recommendation that the Shire Brothers financial statements for the period ending with the end of February 2026 be accepted. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.2.2, the financial statements for the period ending 31st of March 2026. Thank you. Any questions? Anybody wants to do that? Note that on that one, I read that was now this year. Nice. We have a recommendation to Shire Brothers financial statements for the period ending 31st of March 2026 be accepted. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.2.3, accounts paid the 1st of the 3rd 26 to the 31st of the 3rd 26. Second. Anyone have any questions on that?
If I may?
Yeah.
Have I got the right bit? Sorry. Sorry, I just, apologies, I'm just scrolling through online now looking at it. Page 21, I'd just like to point out there was an FPOS payment 31st of the 3rd, Ridges Kalgoorlie, which is the accommodation for members going to do training, which was myself, Councillor Fleming and McLeod. I'm just wondering can we use that as a representation as to other ones that should be written the same, actually delegating it out to who the people were, if you know what I mean. As an example, on page 15, sorry, scrolling through again. It was, Euclid Motel Hotel, not that one, sorry. Burswood nominees, accommodation for staff, 4 nights, the 17th. Is there any chance we can actually do the same like we did with that previous one on page 21 and actually put down the people that actually attended?
Usually with staff, a little bit different from councillors, but it's need.
Councillor Fleming will take that on board. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
There was
yeah.
other examples through the whole paperwork as well. Just not to be rude, I just thought it's just nice to let the locals know who attended what, where, and things like that. That's all.
No, point taken. We'll have a look into how we can do that. Sometimes this is just a print out of synergy, but we can assign to all of that.
If I may.
No, lovely.
If the goal is to know who's attending training or conferences and then get a report on that, that's one thing you look for accounts.
Yeah.
But if it's to see who's staying at accommodation, that's a bit different. So if it's a report
yeah.
on what trainings and conferences being attended, we can do it for.
Yeah.
It's more to do, training wise.
Through the chair, would it be better to do a formal report to show that or reflect it in accounts?
Well, I think, like I say, that representation on 21, I think was really good. It just stipulates who was there and what they were there for. So that's what I was just referring to bring that into place for other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So councillors, it is a bit different with staff, but for elected members, information, we can, and it also depends on what Synergy doing on the day. But it also depends on what the item was for. If it's to do with like a personal issue, then there won't be any names on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So-
Most of what I,
But
yeah, could see.
it just gets awkward with Synergy because sometimes it will do exactly like page 21. And sometimes it will say the plumber's been to repair a tap and it cost us $7,000. And you think, what the hell happened there? Synergy's a little bit quirky, but with best will in the world, we can give it a red hot crack. Okay.
Awesome.
We have a recommendation that the Shire of Dundas monthly accounts paid from the 1st of the 3rd 26 to the 31st of the 3rd 26 be noted. Those in favour. Item 10.2.4, received the information bulletin. Recommendation is on page 29. Thank you. One second. One second. Thank you. We have a recommendation there that council receives the monthly council's information bulletin for the period ending 14th of April 2026. Those in favour. Thank you. Item 10.2.5, corporate business plan 2025 to 2029. Recommendation is 31. Is that Councillor McLeod?
Yeah.
Thank you. And second? Councillor Holman, thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments? Like to speak to that, Councillor McLeod?
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Holman? Anybody like to speak against? Thank you, staff, again, for preparing that business plan. Finally, we got there. All the ducks are starting to get in the line. Okay, so we have a recommendation that Council 1 adopts the Shire of Dundas Corporate Business Plan 2025 to 2029 as containing changes relating, forming part of the Shire's integrated planning and reporting framework in accordance with section 5.56 of the Local Government Act 1995 and associated regulations. 2, notes that the corporate business plan supports the preparation of the Shire's annual budget and operational activities. And 3, acknowledges that the plan will be reviewed annually to ensure alignment with financial capacity, resource availability, and emerging priorities. Those in favour? Thank you. 10.2.6, the Goldfields Esperance Goldfields Voluntary Regional Organisation Council of Region MOU. Recommendation is on page 34. That's it, that's enough. That's enough. Anybody like to speak against it? There's one change to make just on the Shire logo. Update it to the last person. We have a recommendation that Council 1 approves the execution under the common seal of the memorandum of understanding Goldfields Voluntary Regional Organisation of Councils, the GROC, 2026 to 2028 between the Shire of Dundas and the participating local governments, and 2, authorises the Shire President and Chief Executive Officer to affix the common seal of the Shire of Dundas to the memorandum of understanding in accordance with statutory requirements. Those in favour? Thank you. 10.2.7, the Northern Community Resource Centre financial statements for the period ending 31st of March 2026. Recommendation is on the bottom of page 37.
I'll move it.
Councillor McLeod. Councillor Roy, second. Do anyone have any questions on that? Any comments? We have a recommendation that the Northern Community Resource Centre financial statements for the period ending the 31st of March 2026 be accepted. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.3.1, officers' reports. Recommendation on page 39.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councillor McLeod. Second, Councillor Brown, thank you. Officers, anything to add to your report?
Had a school holidays, we've just finished school holidays, so, parents, will be glad to see maybe children back at school, but, had a good holiday break, also a great pool season. So there'll be a work that will go on, budget, the annual budget allowing, with some of the assessment stuff that happens from the Northern Pool. But it was good to see, because usually we extend through the school holidays and it goes freezing cold, but we got some warm weather those last days, so. As always, the pool's been greatly, appreciated by the community, so, council will have that as a community recreation space that we're looking for.
Okay, anybody got any questions on those reports? Okay. We have a recommendation that the Shire of Numbers Council receive the Works and Services, Youth and Recreation Services and Woodlands Cultural Community and Visitor Centre reports as contained in papers relating. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 10.3.2, the Norseman Heritage Trail Race Event, prize for approval. Recommendation is on page 41. Second. Councillor Gilman. Not speak to that, Councillor Honey? Councillor Gilman? Anybody like to speak against it?
Not against, can I?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just after clarity, I do apologise. I'm not sure of the breakdown of the 16,750. So there's 3 races. And are we just doing a first and second, or is it male, female, first, second, third? Sorry, I'm not sure of how it's laid out.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different distances, and there's
Yep.
a bike component and a run. And there's male, female, and first to third, no, 6, right through to 6th place.
Oh, rightio. Okay. Yeah, it was just the distribution of how that was going to
Yeah.
split out. That was all. Yeah.
So it's fairly generous.
Yeah.
Since we got quite a few interested parties last time,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we'll get some interested parties around the table to do the next one. Okay, so we have a recommendation that council 1 approves the allocation of 16,750 for the Coach Road Country Race Event prize pool to be held on the 29th of August 2026. And 2, notes that the approved prize pool allocation will be included within the 26-27 annual budget. And 3, supports the continued delivery of the Northland Heritage Trail Race events as a key community tourism and economic development initiative for the Shire of Dundas. Those in favour? Thank you. Item 11, we have no elected members' motions. Item 12, we do have a late item. So we have a recommendation that we agree or not agree to introduce that late item. Thanks, Lorna, thank you. Those in favour of introducing the late item?
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, so we have. We've seen a much bigger. Okay, we also, it is confidential because it, is a commercial, venture, so, I also need a mover and seconder for us to go behind closed doors.
Come on, please.
Those in favour to go behind closed doors? Thank you. So the resolution is that council 1 authorises the chief executive officer to prepare and submit a tender application for the Australia Post delivery contract for WW102 Northern Air Highway Intercoastal 1, and 2 authorises the CEO to undertake all necessary actions to support the submission, including the preparation of required operational, financial, and work health safety documentation, and 3 notes that the CEO will provide a report to council on the outcome of the tender. That was unanimous. Our next meeting, scheduled to be held at 6 p.m. on the 19th of May in Northland. We have no further business, so the meeting closed at 6.